everyone, I'm Brittany Kaps, and I'm going to talk to you today about my journey of doing it anyway. In fancy terms, working through adversity. Sometimes it's hard to believe all that has happened over the last 6 years of my life. If someone would have told me then about the wild ride that lay ahead of me, I would have laughed. At that time, I was living in California as a full-time nursing student, while I was also working 2 jobs and planning a wedding with my high school sweetheart. Life was good, busy, but good. That's when I met my senior national sales director, Leah Carta, and everything changed. She helped me realize that I was working really hard, but I was never going to have the life that I had always wanted, doing what I was doing. And I knew right away, if anyone could lead me and show me how to be successful, it would be Leah. From the first day that I signed my independent beauty consultant agreement, I did everything she recommended. She said, do a power start, so I did a power start. She told me to share the opportunity, so I did. I was like, what next? I debuted as an independent sales director less than a year later. I got married, I earned the use of my pink Cadillac, and within 2 years, we moved to Alabama, and then to Dallas, Texas. Oh my gosh, it was a whirlwind. But along the way, I met amazing women who became leaders in my unit, and eventually offspring sales directors. But most importantly, they became friends who would lift me up and support me through some tough times ahead. With all the stress of the moves, I became a little lonely, was a little depressed, and lost some of my energy. I gained a lot of weight. We were just getting settled in the area and about to close on a house when the bomb hit. It was June 30th, 2014. We had just returned from an amazing anniversary trip to Mexico, the last day of the seminar year, and I found out my husband was having an affair. Was in love with another woman, and they were expecting a baby. Needless to say, I was a little crushed, angry, and hurt. At that point, my insecurities could have gotten the best of me, and I could have gotten caught up in the drama. But I realized the only thing I could control was me. So I focused on my health and my relationship with the Lord by running every single morning. It was hard because I had definitely gotten out of shape, but I did it anyways. I pushed through. I turned my life over to God and trusted Him to help me when I was scared. The year that followed was the worst and the best year of my life. I lost 60 pounds, my energy was back, and I felt amazing. My business was my happy place. I poured myself into it, spending as much time as possible building my unit and my leaders. It was truly a turning point for my business when I realized that just because my life wasn't where I thought it should be at that moment didn't mean my dream of debuting as a national sales director had to be put on hold. After Leadership Conference 2015, I made a major decision to end my grieving period and to set a goal to become an NSD. In the 8 months that followed, an incredible movement happened, and I developed 7 first-line sales directors. I'm so proud to stand before you today as a brand new senior national sales director. Do you want to know what I did to reach my goal so quickly? I'll tell you. First, I drew a line in the sand and stepped over it. Basically, I forced a switch in my head and I stayed there. When you're ready to claim your destiny, God will move mountains, but you have to grab a shovel and dig. You have to take responsibility and you have to go to work. Next, I had to eat a big piece of humble pie and make 8 or 9 really tough phone calls to some people in my unit that I hadn't given the attention that they deserved. I said, I'm sorry, I've not been the leader that you need me to be. I've been focused on myself, but the focus has changed, and I want to focus on you and be the leader and coach that you need. I had a different conversation with each of them with a mission of building trust and letting them know that I believed in them. And from there, I invested a lot of time in them. I drove and traveled to work with them. I put a ridiculous number of miles on my Cadillac, but it was important to me to get in their homes, meet their husbands, sleep on their couch, and play with their kids. This made all the difference when they were faced with challenges, as I knew each of their situations and could coach them from a more genuine place of understanding. And finally, I worked really, really hard. I worked up to 80 hours a week sometimes, and I loved it. I've always been super strategic with my time. However, during those 8 months, I was making sure that each and every minute was productive. For instance, when I traveled to Alabama, we held these amazing power days where we held parties every 2 hours at 11, 1, 3, 5, and 7. We would hold them at one central location and invite people to attend the time slot that worked best for them. It was completely exhausting and exhilarating at the same time because we were out there winning. When you're winning, it doesn't feel like work. So help the people in your unit get those wins. Once I made these few adjustments, it was like nothing I'd ever seen before. The momentum was so strong. We formed social media groups to encourage one another, and leaders in my unit would call each other and say things like, "I don't know what you're doing this afternoon, but you and I are going out to do something awesome." Everything was running and racing and working together. So now I look at my brand new national area and I think, what's going to change now that I'm an NSD? And the truth is, nothing. My priorities are to build strength in my existing leaders and to continue to develop more and more leaders. When we debut on Seminar Stage next year, I want to have more Offspring sales directors up there representing our area than there is stage. Everyone wants to be a part of it now. Some people have actually said, "I'm glad you didn't debut as a national sales director this year because I really want to be on stage with you." And I'm finally ready now. We are a family who will work together through anything together. So there you have it. I'm proof that if you have a dream and believe and strategize to win and go to work, you can make your dreams come true. If I can do it, you can too.